But what's more challenging is your family court system, Your Honor, and the fact that it is biased and that I am not receiving the same courtesy that she received less than 3 months ago is alarming.
Court has reviewed with the party's recommendation of Mr. Pratt in front of the court. Ms. Nemic, you've had now a chance to discuss the recommendation with your client, Ms. Smith. Is that correct?
It is.
And she's opposed to the recommendation. The reason?
She is. She believes that Mr. Cieslak's parenting time should be supervised at the outset. The reason being the substantiated CPS allegation where Mr. Cieslak did slap Leon twice in the face, leaving a bruise that lasted over, leaving 2 bruises, I'm sorry, that lasted over a week. She feels that Mr. Cieslak has been abusive toward Leon for the entire 13 years of his life, and that if he is given unsupervised parenting time at this point, that Leon would be at risk for this behavior continuing. She also feels that in this time, since Mr. Cieslak's parenting time has been suspended, that she's seen a marked improvement in Leon. He continues to go to therapy. His grades are improving. He has made friends at school. He's engaged in activities and demonstrating, happiness and lack of anxiety that he was not demonstrating previously. In fact, right before our last hearing, Leon had gotten into trouble at school for punching another child in the face. And he's not exhibiting any of those behaviors now that he is not engaging in parenting time with Mr. Cieslak. She would, as I said, like to see supervised parenting time. She'd also like to see counseling established for Mr. Cieslak and Leon. As I said, Leon already has his own counselor, but we'd like to see Mr. Cieslak and Leon attend counseling together with a different counselor.
Okay, has there been any authorization by the prosecutor?
There has not. No, I did speak with Mr. Lorraine a couple of weeks ago. He indicated that the prosecutor's office is declining to authorize charges. The reason was that they felt that the issue was handled by CPS and would be handled by this court.
Okay. Has Mr. Cieslak, have you completed an anger management counseling program?
Yes, Your Honor, I have. And may I respond to any of that she said at this
One
moment?
moment.
Or
Ms.
okay.
Nemic, have you received documentation, verification that Mr. Cieslak has completed an anger management program?
Yes, this morning we received documentation that he enrolled on July 16th and it was completed on July 17th. So it appears it was likely an online course and not very substantial.
Okay. And all right, Mr. Cieslak, your response?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. What brought us here in the first place was me seeking ex parte custody, believing that my son was being abused. The last time that we were here, or when we were here to review that ex parte, and I met Ms. Nemic for the first time, she was saying that Leon was doing fine in school then, and now he's doing better than he was, but he was doing great then. Counseling, I honestly believe that Leon should be in counseling. That's great. He's lied to the courts. He's lied to Toledo courts. He's lied to Monroe courts. We are here because I initially thought he was being abused. The CPS allegations on July 17th, when we were here, they were saying that Leah Hubbard was going to be prosecuting at that time, and that Erie Police Department was going to be prosecuting. I talked to them right after I got out of that court hearing, and they both assured me that they had already reviewed those cases and that they weren't seeking prosecution. That was on July 17th, the day of our last review. We're here because my son has been lying about both of his parents, and I've waited until our review date to bring it forward, but I want to just see my son and move forward with it. There's no prosecution. I've spoke to Erie prosecutors and Monroe prosecutors on multiple occasions, and they've assured me that there's no prosecution whatsoever. The prosecutors of Monroe had not even heard my name. So I would honestly like to just continue moving forward with what we had going on for a number of years of me having my son every weekend except for the 4th week of the month. I have him Wednesday through Friday. And instead of having that I would prefer to have him on Wednesday so I can take him to church. I'm active I go to Oaks of Righteousness with my church group. I go to church every Tuesday with a group of men who are very active in Monroe with many different organizations that we have in our community. And I attend Wednesday and Sunday. And I've been doing that for quite a few number of months. And it's with where Leon goes to school, having him in church is difficult because he doesn't have any acceptance towards the faith at all. He goes towards, and it's just, it's very, I want to just see my son. I want to let him know that he made a mistake, that we can move forward. And I don't want him to continue to be able to live in his mistake and to be able to say that I'm an abusive parent, because that's just what would have happened with his mom in the spring. I wouldn't have wanted that to happen to his mom. And I'm embarrassed and ashamed of where we're at because of what my son's been saying. And I want to just move forward. And it's,
But you understand, sir, you cannot assault your son.
yes, sir, I do. And it hasn't been labeled as assault. It was,
Hold on, did you slap him?
I did smack him in the mouth. Yes, sir, I did.
Hey, that's an assault, sir. That's an assault. What time is church on Sunday?
Church on Sundays at 10:30.
All right, well, this recommendation would allow you to take him to church on Sundays. The recommendation is every Saturday from 5 till Sunday at 5. And with review November 19th, 2024, you need to have some constructive discussions with your son rather than blaming him. And if the court's going to adopt this, there should be no corporal punishment. Neither of you should assault your son.
And that was after that. Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Is Leon currently involved in counseling?
He is, Your Honor.
All right. All right. The court understands, Ms. Nemic, your client's concerned, but we need to, the court's not quite ready to restore full parenting time to dad, but let's give us a try.
Your Honor.
Leon's 12 years old. If in
Your
fact
Honor.
there's an issue, he can voice that. He's old enough to voice that. So at this time, the court's going to adopt the recommendation. I hear you, Mr. Cizak. This time let's start slow.
When she was being accused of abuse,
and it was Sunday at 5, reviewed by November 19th at 10 o'clock. So there's be no corporal punishment of the minor child. We can add that to the recommendation, Ms. Patrick, and the child shall continue to engage in counseling. Okay, any questions, Mr. Cizak?
Yes, I would please like to speak. When she was being accused, Your Honor, when she was being accused of abusing our son.
What's your question?
And I do not have a question. I have the fact that when I need to respect her as his mother, because there is no prosecution from Toledo Police and there's no prosecution from Toledo Police Department. Those are your words exactly. Yes, but your word. Yes, we have. But your words exactly were that there were no police prosecution from Toledo Police. There was no prosecution from Ohio Police Department or Ohio prosecutors.
It's a family matter.
It is a family matter. It is. But then you said that I need to respect her as his mother. Were your exact words? Do I not get the door that swings both ways in your court? Where's the respect for me? He's lied about me, and I did smack him across the mouth. I did admit to it, but it was indiscipline, and it was labeled as discipline, which is exactly why the Erie Police and the prosecutors of Monroe are not pressing charges. So I would please like the same courtesy that you gave her, and I would like my parenting times reinstated.
We can discuss that November 19th. Let's see how things go.
November 19th is too long, Your Honor. November 19th is too long, and I've already not seen my son since June, and I've already had my parenting time suspended because of lies. I would like the same courtesy that she received from you, Your Honor, please.
All right. Well, again, there should be no corporal punishment. Again, there's other ways to discipline a child without a physical striking, Mr. Cizak. So let's move things slowly, and let's see how these Saturdays. It's overnight Saturday.
Have you read the CPS report? Have you read the CPS report, and have you read the circumstances of how he got smacked in the mouth, Your Honor? Because he did have it coming, and you know what? A bruise tends to happen. And the last time we were here was a 3-day long bruise, and now it's a week. Next time we're here, it'll be a week and a half. Everything is exaggerated by Ms.
Very challenging.
Don't acknowledge it.
Yes, but
yes, they are extremely challenging. But what's more challenging is your family court system, Your Honor. And the fact that it is biased and that I am not receiving the same courtesy that she received less than 3 months ago is alarming.
Okay, this court's not in the event of trying to give courtesies. The court is trying to make it best.
You're not in the event of justice and doing what you know you're not, or else you would have taken her from him. All right, you would have taken. This is absurd.
Mr. Cizak, you can make a claim at the Michigan Court of Appeals. If you disagree with this court's decision, you could go to the Michigan Court of Appeals. But your parenting time will start this Saturday, Sunday at 5. Who's going to pick up?
When am I
So
going to be
you need-
getting the same courtesy from your courtroom as Miss Smith? When is my parenting time going to be reinstated? How can she do the exact?
This
She had smacked
Saturday.
him in the mouth and abandoned him, according to that police report. And what? I smack him in the mouth after he'd been lying to me for 3 months, and I do not understand it, Your Honor. I told him he was getting smacked in the mouth, and I put him in the corner. And you know what? That you're allowed to smack them in the mouth. You are. You're not allowed to leave a mark, but you are not allowed to. And that's why it was put on that I should spank him through clothing. Was our recommendation from Miss McFall. And
Well, the front of the court's going to do a parenting time investigation. So the court can, when we come back in November, we'll have more information from the front of the court. Hopefully we can get back.
just another few months, I don't get to see my son.
That will conclude this hearing. I'm not going to argue with it all morning. I'm trying to make a decision. This court.
It's not an argument. You're biased, and it's extremely insulting.
Court has made that decision, and that will conclude this hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is 100% parental alienation, and the courts have enabled the abuse of me, the control of me, and I'm done. If you guys cannot see that, why would I be fighting for my kids to abuse them? All I want for them to do is do better in school. Hold him accountable to that court order. It's a court order for a reason. You're not allowed to badmouth me every chance you get. My kids don't need to grow up in a toxic environment like that. I love them